Welcome to MVC Academy. This is Santosh Koka, Faculty for Polity and Governance. So, previous classes we have seen almost 3 mock tests related to polity. So, now we will check the Indian polity related 4th grand test, right? So, for that we have to follow the questions. Almost we have written the 25 MCQs today. So, consider following statements regarding the adjournment, right, of the sitting of a House of Parliament. So here now adjournment terminates a sitting of the House. The power of adjournment lies with the President of India. So if we consider these two statements, what is adjournment here? So it is a pass to a sitting of a House, right? So not session of the House. We have to understand it, right? So session of the House is not adjourned here. Just adjournment means just we are giving a halt or pass to the sitting of the House, right? So that is correct here. The power of adjournment lies with the not President of India, Speaker if it is Lok Sabha. So chairman of the Rajya Sabha, it is Rajya Sabha, right? So that is we have to understand here. So President of India here have the power to prorogue, not adjourn, right? Prorogue means what is the meaning of prorogue here? So prorogue means it is the end of the session, right? So complete end, right? So this is the main important question related to housing. Maximum in UPSC related, polity related context, we will give or we will receive most questions from these parliamentary sessions, right? So please focus on that. Only one first option is correct, right? So they are asking for only correct only. So only one is the correct. So next go to the second question here. So if you consider the second question, consider the following statements regarding the Public Accounts Committee, right? So Public Accounts Committee, if you see the Public Accounts Committee, we have already discussed these number of committees, Estimates Committee, Public Accounts Committee, right? So it is a parliamentary committee that examines the annual audit reports of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, right? So PAC, Public Accounts Committee, will examine the annual reports of the Comptroller and Auditor of India. This is main important role which have to be followed by the PAC, right? So PAC consists of 22 members, all of whom are from Lok Sabha. So is it correct? So parliamentary committee, a special public accounts committee having 22 members is correct, but it is completely 15 members from Lok Sabha, right? So 7 members from Rajya Sabha, but not completely entire from the Lok Sabha. That is wrong statement here. So chairman of the PAC is appointed by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha from among the 6 members. So is it correct? Right. Right? So chairman of the PAC is appointed by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha only. So here if you consider, we are following a convention. We have been following a convention from the past few years, right? So that is, what is the convention related to Public Accounts Committee? So this chairman is completely from our opposition party, right? So that is the main important convention we have been following, right? So if you consider these two statements are correct. So first statement is okay, this is also correct. So second statement only not correct. So find out only correct. So 1 and 3, right? So 1 and 3 only are the correct statements. So next important question, consider the following regarding the impeachment of the president, right? So impeachment of the president, if you consider the impeachment of the president, impeachment of the judges, all these are vice president, etc. All these are very important. So consider these statements. Impeachment process can be initiated by the either House of Parliament, right? So next, the charges for impeachment must be signed by at least 1/4 of the members of the House that initiates the process. So next, President has the right to appear and to be represented at the investigation of the charges. So and also the resolution for impeachment must be passed by a majority of the total membership of the House, not less than 2. That is, what is this? Special majority. Right? So this special majority condition always very difficult process. That's why it is mainly followed in the removal or impeachment processes, right? So all these, if you look into this, all these impeachment process of the president, especially, all these are correct, right? Impeachment process can be initiated by either house, right? So, and also charges for impeachment must be signed by at least 1/4 of the members of the that initiates the process. So, impeachment, whether it is the Supreme Court judge or if we consider Vice President of India or President of India, it is very difficult process. Why it is difficult process? We have the special majority and also highest bar scrutiny will be also there, right? So all these four statements are correct, right? So next, consider the statements. So which of the following statements are not correct regarding the amendment of the constitution, right? So what is the important thing? We have to understand the UPSC pattern. Whenever you are reading the question, we have to focus on the each and every specific keywords, right? So they are asking for not, right? Not correct. So bill for the amendment of the constitution can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha, and also the bill must be passed in each house by a majority of the total membership of that house and by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of that house present and voting. What is this condition? Every time we have to focus on this particular special majority, right? So, President can return a constitutional amendment bill for consideration, reconsideration of the Parliament. So, is it correct? So, can the President return a constitutional amendment bill for reconsideration? Is it correct? We have to see. So, first of all, a bill for the amendment of the Constitution can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha? No, right? So, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, right? So, that's why it is not correct. So, next, the bill must be passed in each house by a majority of the total membership. This is correct, right? So, special majority should be there regarding the passing of the constitution amendment bill, right? So, next, President can return a constitutional bill. Is it correct? No. So, if you consider the 24th Constitutional Amendment Act 1971, it clearly provides the obligation notice, right? Obligatory to the President to cannot return a constitutional amendment bill. He should assent, he should give the assent to the constitutional amendment bill, right? So that is not correct. So they are asking for not correct only, right? So 1 and 3 is the correct. C, 4, C option is the correct. So next important question related to the polity 4th mock test here. So election commission, right? So statements regarding the election commission of India. So I'm not wasting your time by reading all the statements here. So just we have already written the questions, right? Statement, just video, pause the video and see the statements here, right? Election commission is a multi-member body, right? So we have the chief election commission plus 2 election commissions, clear, right? So chief election commissioner, 2 other election commissioners. So perfect. That is correct, right? So, Chief Election Commissioner can be removed from the office in the same manner and on the same grounds as a judge of the Supreme Court. So, is it correct? So, removal of the office, lot of the membership or important authorities are removed as per the grounds as a judge of the Supreme Court. So, everyone is by having this particular statement. But what is the removal process of the judge of the Supreme Court? We have to focus on that, right? So it is very difficult process here. So whatever we have the procedure here, so some grounds we have on the removal of the each and every authority, especially for the judge of the Supreme Court. What are the grounds here? So we have particularly notice, if whenever we notice the malpractices, right? We have certain malpractices done by these authorities, right? So are malfunctionary, right? Whenever they are not functioning according to the roles and responsibilities, that is also very important, right? So these are all these conditions are there, right? What is the procedure here to remove? First of all, the initiation, right? So initiation of a motion is very important to removal of a judge, right? So next important thing, that is admission. whenever this particular initiation of a motion, especially motion is particularly initiated from the Lok Sabha. Whether it is Lok Sabha, 100 members should be initiated, or Rajya Sabha, if it is Rajya Sabha, total 50 members should be initiated, right? So like this, the motion will be initiated. First process is initiation of motion. After that, it will goes to the admission of a speaker, or if it is Rajya Sabha, the chairman of the Rajya Sabha will admit whether it is okay or not, right? So then it will goes to the investigation, right? So investigation team, investigation committee will scrutiny, right? So whether this is okay or not, impeachment or removal process or some allegations are not are okay or not, we will investigate, right? So final fourth process is then parliamentary vote, right? So after that we have to vote from each and every house, whether it is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, they will vote, right? So final process is the president approval. President approval, right? So these are the 5 stages we have. Very difficult procedure regarding the removal of the judge of the Supreme Court. So here, if you consider the Chief Election Commission can be removed from office in the same manner on the same ground as judge of the Supreme Court, means all these 5 levels have to be completed, right? So such a difficult process we have here. What is the main theme of here difficult procedure? First of all, special majority should be there, and also highest bar offices are including here, right? So that is the main important thing. So this scrutiny, so investigation scrutiny is completely involved by some experts or judges also here, right? So that's why it is very difficult procedure. So we have to focus on this, right? So we are considering Chief Election Commission can be removed on the same grounds as judge of the Supreme Court. But what about election commissions? Simply by the president only on the advice of the Chief Election Commissioner, right? So both 2 statements are correct. So next we have to consider next question, that is consider the following statements regarding the powers of the Rajya Sabha. Very important. So always we consider the Lok Sabha only, but sometimes they will focus on Rajya Sabha, especially some majority or some special powers of the Rajya Sabha, right? Rajya Sabha can authorize the parliament to create a new all India services. Rajya Sabha can declare that it is necessary in the national interest of parliament to make matters in the state list, right? So if you consider these special powers of Rajya Sabha when compared to Lok Sabha, right? So special powers are in the hands of the Rajya Sabha. They are not having the powers of the Lok Sabha, right? So what are those? First of all, so creating all India services, right? So and also we have state list amendment, right? State list subject creation also, it is completely related to the Rajya Sabha, right? So and also vice president removal, right? Vice president removal also initiated only in the Rajya Sabha. That is also very important. If you consider the article wise, we have Article 67 which completely declared or indicating the procedure for the removal of the vice president. That should be originated from the Rajya Sabha only. Next, if you consider the state list consideration, whatever we have necessary in the national interest, the parliament should make laws on a matter in the state list, subjects in the state list. That is Article 249, right? So next, all India services creation is completely in the hands of Rajya Sabha. That is Article 312, right? So all these are very important. Rajya Sabha has equal powers with the Lok Sabha in the matter of passing a constitutional amendment bill, right? So this is also correct. So Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha having completely regarding the constitutional amendment bill having the equal powers, but regarding the money bills not equal powers, right? So all these statements are correct. So next question regarding the polity test 4, to consider the 7th question related to the fundamental duties enshrined in the Constitution of India. Fundamental duties were added to the Constitution by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Is it correct? Yes, it's completely added to the Constitution by including Part 4A, right? So what it included? Simply 51A article included. Article 51A, in which we have included almost 10 duties previously, right? So 42nd Constitution Amendment that was enacted 1976 included almost 10 duties, right? So but the 2002 86th Constitution Amendment Act included another duty. What is that? 11th, related to 11th duty of fundamental duties, that is related to educational rights. Parents or guardians should provide education to the child. That is included in the 2002 86 Constitutional Amendment Act. Right? So very, very important. So fundamental duties are inspired by the constitution of former USSR. Yes. Soviet Union, that is also correct. Fundamental duties are not enforceable by law. Already we have discussed only fundamental rights are enforceable, right? So remaining DPSPs and fundamental duties are non-enforceable, right? So if any fundamental right is violated by the state or any public authority, we can go to the courts for the appeal, right? But we can't go to the courts whenever they are violating DPSPs and fundamental duties, right? So that is the main procedure here. Fundamental duties are applicable to all citizens of India. Is it correct? All citizens of India? Yes. Completely it is applicable to all citizens of India only, not foreigners, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. All the 4 options are correct, right? So next statement, next question is, so consider the following statement not correct regarding the office of the governor of a state. So if you consider the polity questions in UPSC, so president and governor are very important, right? We have to focus on each and every roles, responsibilities, powers, functions of president and governor, right? So governor is appointed by the president and holds office during his presidency. Is it correct? Yes. Government simply appointed by the president, not prime minister or any authority. So governor can be a member of either house of parliament or a house of the state legislature. So is it correct? Governor has the power to grant pardons, reprieves, respites, or remissions of punishment for any offence against a state law. So if you consider the president having these powers in the central law, right? So if you consider the state-wise, governor has the power to pardons, right? So grant pardons or reprieves, respites, etc. If you consider second statement, both are 2, 1, 3 are correct, but governor can be a member of either house of parliament or a house of the state legislature is wrong. Why it is wrong? So we have been following a condition that governor should not be a member of either a house of parliament or a house of the state legislature. So if in any case he is the member of any house of the parliament, immediately he has to vacate the seat, right? That is the condition. So that's why 1 and 3 are the correct, but here asking not correct, right? So not correct is only 2. Only 2. B option is the correct. So next question here. So we have considered the following regarding the Union Public Service Commission. Already we have discussed these constitutional bodies, statutory bodies and non-statutory bodies in our YouTube channel. Please watch it. So chairman and members of the UPSC are appointed by the President of India, right? So chairman, its members are UPSC, whether if you consider any constitutional body, completely appointed by the President of India only, right? Entire expenses including the salaries, allowances and pensions of the chairman and members of the UPSC are charged on the Consolidated of India, Consolidated Fund of India. What is the article here? Article 266, right? So main governmental accounts, primary accounts, main what are we have completely taxes, fees, completely goes to the Consolidated Fund of India, and we will take the salaries and allowances etc. of the public authorities from this Consolidated Fund of India only, right? So this is also correct. So this indicates the independence of UPSC also here, right? So both statements are correct here. So next, if you see the next question, 10th question here. So consider the following statements regarding the proclamation of national emergency. We have already discussed the emergency provisions related to national, financial and state emergency. So proclamation of national emergency can be made by the president only on the written recommendation of the union cabinet. Right? We have already seen the procedure. First of all, president uh, first of all, Union Cabinet will give a written recommendation to the President. Then it will move to the parliamentary approval. Right? So if it is President approved, then Parliament will approved by both houses of Parliament with 1 month, within 1 month, right? So this particular provisions is, if you observe national emergency, if it is national emergency, only 1 month is necessary, right? So if it is state emergency or financial emergency, 2 months is required, right? So that is the main difference we have to understand, right? We have to correlate with each other, related topics here, polity. Then only we can remember all these important provisions and statements, right? Proclamation of emergency can be revoked by the president at any time by a subsequent proclamation. So is it correct? So proclamation of emergency revoked by the president. No need parliamentary approval again to revoke the national emergency here, right? So all the three statements are correct, right? Don't be confused with the state emergency or financial emergency here, right? So all these emergency provisions are very, very important related to examination. So all these three are correct. So next question that is related to our polity fourth mock test. So related to DPSPs, Directive Principles of State Policy. They are enumerated in Part 4 of the Constitution, right? So we have Part 4 of the Part 3 is fundamental rights, Part 4 is the DPSPs, and Part 4A is fundamental duties, right? So DPSPs are not enforceable by any court. This is also correct. Fundamental rights are enforceable, DPSPs are not enforceable, and also fundamental duties are also not enforceable. So they are fundamental in the governance of the country. Yes. So regarding the state functionally, so whenever they are creating any laws or enacting any laws or policies, they have to consider these DPSPs, right? So that is also important. They aim to establish a social and economic democracy in the country. If you follow the conventionally principles, so fundamental rights are related to political democracy, right? Political democracy. It will denote the political democracy. But if you consider the DPSPs, it is completely social and economical democracy, right? It establishes social and economical democracy in India, right? That is the importance of these DPSPs. All these four statements are correct. There is no confusion here, right? They are asking for correct options only. So next question that is related to joint sitting of a house, right? So first of all, what are the important not correct statements here? Can be summoned by the president to resolve a deadlock between the two houses on a money bill. They are asking money bill, only money bill. So if you observe, the joint sitting can be summoned by the president to resolve a deadlock. It is correct, but between the two houses on ordinary bills and also financial bills, but not money bill and constitutional amendment bill. Right? We have to understand this difference here. So joint sitting can be summoned by the president to resolve a deadlock. So there will not be a deadlock between regarding the money bill or constitutional amendment bill, right? So why? Because president give assent and Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha will be having some important obligatory principles regarding the money bill and constitutional amendment bill, right? So that's why this is wrong statement. Speaker of the Lok Sabha presides over a joint sitting of the two houses. The quorum to constitute a joint sitting is 1/10 of the total members of the two houses, right? So quorum means, what is the quorum? 1/10. 1/10 of the members, simply of two houses. That is the quorum means. We have already discussed, right? So these two statements are correct. What they are asking, not correct. Only one is the not correct option here. Next, if you observe the preamble, right? So very, very basic question and also very easy question, but very, very important question, very repetitive question, right? So, preamble to the Indian Constitution was amended by which of the following Constitution Amendment Acts, right? So, everybody says 42nd Amendment Act 1976, right? So, A is the correct answer, but what are the important words included in the preamble whenever we have amended the Constitution? 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act here. So, socialist, and we have secular, and finally integrity, right? So these three important words we have included in the parliament preamble of the constitution, right? So previously we have so many words, whatever we have, so sovereign, democratic, republic, right? Other than that, we have integrity related, we have justice, equality, fraternity, and unity, right? So we generally talks about unity in integrity, right? Unity and integrity. We usually talks about unity and integrity, right? So integrity has separately we have added from this Constitutional Amendment Act, right? So likewise, socialist and secular also added here, right? So these are the objectives of the country, right? We have included in the parliament preamble of the Constitution, right? So next, if you see the next question related to the Council of Ministers, this is also very important. Total number of ministers, including the Prime Minister in the Council of Ministers, shall not exceed 15% of the total strength of the Lok Sabha. So, by the convention, we did not have these type of rules previously, but after the 91st Constitution Amendment Act, right? So 2003, we have included this convention, this rule or provision, right? What is the provision? Total number of ministers, including Prime Minister, right? So in the Council of Ministers shall not exceed 15% of the total strength of the Lok Sabha. That is the main condition here, right? So this is correct. So Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. Yes. What is this important factor here? So in our Indian Constitution, very important function or provision or statement of the Parliament related to Parliament is Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. So what it means? So the majority means here the ministry completely in the house, right? Has the will be in the house as long as the particular confidence of the majority of the members are there, right? So that is the main important thing here. Council of Ministers is collectively responsible, right? So both 1 and 2 are the correct. So next, if you see the question related to the state legislature here. So consider the following statements related to state legislature. This is also very important. So whenever we read the polity, previous questions or current related questions, we usually focus on fundamental rights, DPSPs, or president, governor, etc. But we will neglect some important weighted topics also. That is these type of state legislature or legislative councils, especially, and also Rajya Sabha. Right? We have to focus. Legislative council of a state can be abolished or created by the parliament on the recommendation of the legislative assembly of the state. The size of the legislative council of a state cannot be more than 1/3 of the size of the legislative assembly of the state. 1/3 of the members of the legislative council are elected by the members of the legislative assembly, right? So generally, our Indian constitution provides bicameralism, right? Bicameral legislature in some states and unicameral legislature in some states, right? So like Andhra Pradesh we have, so like Telangana we have, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. In these big states we have bicameral legislature, but some small states we have, right? So in small states, usually they are having unicameral, right? So here only legislature will be there, but no legislative council, right? So that is the main process. All these statements here, so related to provisions of the state legislature are correct. So 1, 2, 3 are the correct statement. Next. So consider the following statements regarding the fundamental rights available to the citizens and foreigners. Very interesting and very important. 15 is available only to citizens of India. Is it correct? Article 15, what is this? Article 14 is right to equality, right? Equality right only, this is also. But Article 15 is right against discrimination, right? So the state shall not be discriminated any citizen of India on religion, on the grounds of religion, caste, sex, gender, or place of birth, race, etc. Right? This is correct. Article 19 is available to both citizens and foreigners. Is it correct? 19 is especially related to freedom rights, right? So freedom of speech and expression, freedom of movement, right, etc. are there. This is only related to citizens only, not foreigners, right? So this is wrong. So Article 21 is available to both citizens and foreigners. Why? Is it correct? Yes. Article 21 is right to life and personal liberty, right? So wherever you go, you will have the right to life, right? So simply we can say they are available to both citizens and foreigners, right? Article 29 is available only to citizens of India. Why it is correct? This is also correct. Why? We have certain minority rights here, right? So linguistic and cultural minority rights, they have to hold a new educational institutions. All these related to Article 29 and 30 articles, right? So 1, 3, 4 are the correct options. Next question, which of the following statements regarding the not correct regarding the interstate council? We have already seen previously zonal councils. This is interstate council. Is a constitutional body. Is it constitutional body? Yes. So set up under the Article 263 of the Constitution. Whenever they are created by some article provisions or constitutional amendment, they are the constitutional bodies, right? So Prime Minister is the chairman of the interstate council. This is also very much important, right? So Niti Aayog or interstate council, all these big bodies are chaired by the Prime Minister. Recommendations of the interstate council are binding on the governments. No such a body is recommendations are binding on the government. We have to think, right? So before answering, just recommend, suggestive, right? So they give just suggestions, right? So not recommend, not obligatory, right? Or binding. This is not correct. Both these two are correct. So they are asking for not correct, right? So just 3 is the not correct option, right? So next 18th question. What is the power of Supreme Court of India to decide disputes between center and the states fall under its? What is the type of jurisdiction? We have certain jurisdictions of Supreme Court and High Courts are subordinate courts here, right? So we have certain levels of hierarchy of judicial process in India, right? So first of all, advisory jurisdiction, applied jurisdiction, or original jurisdiction, writ jurisdiction, right? So writ jurisdiction, we have High Courts and Supreme Courts also. If you consider deciding the disputes between center and states, that is completely original jurisdiction. So why? So in this original jurisdiction, Supreme Court decide the disputes between central government, means government of India, and any one state or two or more states, right? So government of India and 1 or 2 states between 1 or 2 states. Sometimes government of India is including or very friendly or very jointly or coordinated with some states related to some dispute, right? So, and some other states are not completely opposition to this particular decision, right? Then also dispute will come. So they will decide. So next 1 or 2 states, right? So in between more than 2 states, that is also real. All these dispute decisions will be decided by the Supreme Court. That is the original jurisdiction here. So next we have the question related to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Office of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. It is elected by the Lok Sabha from amongst its members. Speaker is elected completely from the Lok Sabha only. Right? Speaker can be removed from office by a resolution passed by a majority of all the then members of the Lok Sabha. Is it correct? Removal of the speakers should be moved, right, within 14 days. 14 days time period is there. Advance notice should be there, right? So then only they can be removed, right? So this is also correct. Only both 1 and 2 are the correct statement regarding the office of the Speaker. Next, if you consider the 20th question regarding the sources of the Indian Constitution, concept of fundamental rights is borrowed from Constitution of USA. fundamental rights, if you take the origin, right, background of the fundamental rights, completely we have taken the Constitution of USA only, fundamental rights. DPSP is borrowed from the Constitution of Ireland. So fundamental duties from USSR, fundamental rights from USA, and DPSPs are from Ireland. So these are basic information. Concept of the parliamentary form of government is borrowed from the Constitution of the UK. So parliamentary form of the government is borrowed from the Constitution of the UK only, but we are not following the Constitution. Supremacy of the king or queen there, right? We are here completely supremacy or decision or prime body is Constitution only in our India when compared to UK, right? All these statements are correct. So next statement here. So that is question here, citizenship of India. So Constitution of India provides for a single citizenship. If you observe the parts, part 1 we have the Union of India related. Number of parts are there in the Constitution. Part 2 is related to our citizenship of India. They are consisting of articles 5 to 11. Part 1 are considering 1 to 4 articles are completely related to Union of India's territories, different territories, right? So article 5 to 11 are completely related to part 2 of the Constitution, that is citizenship of India. In this article 11 is very important, that is having the power of parliament here, right? So to give the authority or to giving the power to make any provision with respect to acquisition of a termination of citizenship here, right? So Constitution of India, single citizenship only. We are not encouraging dual citizenship here. A person who voluntarily acquires the citizenship of another country automatically ceases to be a citizen of India. This is the condition we have been following. So Parliament has the power to make it is completely given under Article 11 of the Constitution. A person can become a citizen of India by birth, descent, registration of, or naturalization. We have already discussed these provisions, important provisions related to citizenship of India in our channels. Our app, please look into it. So all these 4 statements are correct, right? Next question related to our new writs, especially writs are very important. So sometimes we will get either one writ in each and every examination. That's why we are focusing on these writs. So not correct regarding the writ of habeas corpus. What is the habeas corpus here? So this is a Latin term, right? Indicates what it means to have the body of, right? So it is just issued by the court, right? A person who has detained another person to produce the body of latter before it. Judge is asking a person to just produce the body of the latter, right? Who has detained it, right? To detain him or her, right? So the writ can be issued against both public authorities as well as private individuals. This is also very important. Writ cannot be issued where the detention is lawful, right? So if you observe, so none of the above, they are asking for not correct, right? So all these statements are correct here. So the writ can be issued against both public means here. So completed writ to have the body of means whether they are public or private, that is related to rule of law, that is completely related to responsible to all, right? So writ cannot be issued where the detention is lawful, right? So if the detention is completely according to the rule of law, there is no false here, right? That's why it is also correct. All these 3 statements are correct, but they are asking not correct. That's why option is none of the above. So next question. Consider the following statements regarding the contingency fund of India. So we have to deal with CAG and Consolidated Fund of India and consistency or contingency fund of India. All these are very important, right? So we have already seen Consolidated Fund of India related to Article 266 completely main account, right? So Indian government account are completely related to CFI. Right, so salaries, allowances, taxes and fees will be goes to the Consolidated Fund of India. Then we will have the salaries and allowances from this account only. So if you consider contingency fund of India, That is Article 267. Right? Very important. So, at the disposal of the President of India. Right? So, both are completely at the disposal of the President of India only. President, the recommendation of the Parliament, first of all, Parliament will give, then President will move to the Parliament here. Right? So, fund is used to meet unforeseen expenditure pending its authorization by the Parliament. So, if you consider the Consolidated Fund of India, especially all the important allowances, salaries, etc., taken from the Consolidated Fund of India. But other than these, some expenditures means disasters, natural disasters, or sometimes we have natural calamities, or we have sometimes health emergency like COVID, right? So COVID-19 illnesses, these type of diseases, right? Emergencies, all these expenditure pending its authorization by the Parliament is unforeseen, right? Unforeseen, suddenly, emergency, right? So this is completely related to contingency fund, right? So both two are correct. Next question, that is consider the following statements regarding the office of the Chief Minister, right? So Chief Minister and Prime Minister is very important. He is the head of the government at the state level. Their PM is the head of the government at the central level, right? He is appointed by the governor, their president, right? So Chief Minister holds office during the pleasure of the governor. The Prime Minister holds the government, right? So during the pleasure of the president, right? Both are relatable topics here we have to consider, right? So here, if you understand, Chief Minister is the real executive body, real executive authority in the state level. Prime Minister is the real executive authority in the central level, right? So both are same. So all these three statements are correct. Next. And last question, Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities. The office of the Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities was created by the 7th Constitutional Amendment Act 1956. Special Officer is appointed by the President of India. Investigate all matters relating to the safeguards provided for linguistic minorities under the Constitution. Special Officer submits his reports to the President, right? So these type of special officers, especially it is completely related to our to equal, so provide equality, equal opportunities to the minorities, right? So these type of bodies are special bodies or officers are completely appointed by the President of India. The two. So linguistic minority. We are dealing with linguistic minorities here, especially the rest constitution related, right? Constitution. We have 8th schedule. In that we have provided 22 languages, included 22 languages, right? So all these, if you consider all these 4 statements are correct related to our Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities. They will submit their report to the President, right? So Special Officer investigate all matters related to the safeguards provided for linguistic minorities under the Constitution, right? So here these 4 statements are correct. So these are the total 25 questions in the mock test, 4th mock test of quality, right? So we have to focus each and every concept here, and also we have to relate to the another topics, whatever correlated topics we have, right? So we have to carefully correlate each and every topic, then only we can remember each and everything related to quality provisions and also statements, articles, right? So that's it for now. So we will meet in the next 5th mock test. Thank you very much. All the very best.